politicians currently sitting in office right now? Let's try this way. It's September 10th, 2025. Are the other politicians sitting in office right now?
There's a whole bunch of them in Congress. Yeah,
Are
I
they
mean,
sitting in the presidential office right now? And also, what former president is in Congress right now?
there's one president that
What former president is in Congress right now?
line.
What former president is in Congress right now?
Said it was politicians. You asked me about politicians.
No, I
I told you
specifically asked you who was sitting in the Oval Office right now, so that would imply being the President of the United States. I'm sorry if you actually can't understand implications, but that's literally what it would mean. So what other president is in office right now, or am I just confused and it's simply just Donald Trump is the president that's in office right now? Which one is it? Help me out. Which one is it?
I just told you 4 times. No one.
No one. Oh, so it's just Donald Trump. So let's try this. What do you get out of saying other politicians lie? What do you get out of pointing out other politicians? Is this a way for you to avoid the fact that the man that you elected into office, the man that you're actively still supporting right now to this day on September 10th, 2025, has been actively lying to you, that you're not able to cope with the lies that he has in fact told, so you now pivot away by trying to excuse it by saying, well, all politicians lie. So you're just trying to give an excuse instead of actually holding people accountable.
There is no excuse because history.
There is no
shows that
excuse.
You accused him of lying. The lies came out to be on your end, and he was telling the truth.
What's my end? Can you tell me? Since I apparently don't know what my political affiliation is, can you please help inform me on what my political affiliation is?
Sure. What Republican have you voted for in your life?
Tom Tillis, Gregory Murphy.
Okay, and you consider yourself in the middle because of 2 guys. Not one president you voted for is a Republican.
Oh, no, because when my only options have been Donald J. Trump, and I've never once supported any of the policies that he said or the speeches that he gave, because unlike most people, at least when I was younger and he was first running for president, I actually watched all of the political debates on both sides, right? But I heavily focused on the Republican debates because I was truly hoping that somebody else would beat Donald Trump because I really didn't like Hillary Clinton, right? So I was truly hoping that somebody else was going to beat out Donald Trump in the primary. So I watched all of those presidential debates very closely in 2016, just as I also watched all of his interviews that he held at the end of 2015 going into 2016. So when my only Republican option, since the president has been been a thing for me when I've, as an adult, been able to vote, has been Donald J. Trump. No, sir. I've never once voted for Donald J. Trump to be president of the United States of America. That's a pretty base question when that's the only option that I've had.
Okay, well, that's a good answer. So you really believe you're down the middle, though?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Awesome. So are you able to admit to any lies that Donald Trump that you know he's told?
It's so hard for me to do that because
why is it hard?
All the things that he's been accused of, he's come back and it's been true.
No, we're not talking about accusations against Donald Trump. I'm talking about lies that he's told out of his own mouth.
Every time he's accused of lying, it's come out as fact.
Oh.
So how am I supposed to admit that?
Okay, cool. Are you in an industry where you get paid? Are you in an industry where you get paid overtime?
I am not, but that is actually supposed to come out in what? The big beautiful bill? When does that take
supposed
effect?
to? Okay.
When does that take effect?
It's effective immediately. Surprisingly, yeah, it is because they made it retroactive. So, do you happen to know anyone? Do you happen to know anyone that works overtime?
Yeah, all my employees.
Your employees, cool. Are they still having overtime taxes taken out of that overtime pay?
I asked you a question and you said it's retroactive. It's not,
yeah.
because if
No, it
If it
actually
was
is
up
because they
to
changed the verbiage of the letter of the law that says in like effective immediately, and it also says going back, changing the date to ending on this one and saying going back to starting on January 1st, 2018 within the letter of the bill. This is how I know that individuals such as yourself did not take the time to read any pages of the 330 pages of the finalized text of HR 1, aka the one big beautiful bill. So when it actually uses the word saying striking this out says going back, starting effective January 1st, 2018, then yes, it is actually retroactive and it is in effect immediately for the tax legislation that's the text within the bill. So again, this is how I know you didn't actually read it and you're just regurgitating something you've heard from somewhere. So let me ask you this again. Are overtime taxes still coming out of your employee's paycheck when they're getting overtime pay? Yes or no?
Can I finish my thing first?
No, I already answered your question, so now answer mine. I've literally answered your
I
question.
love it.
I've already answered your question. Can you answer mine?
As of now, they are. Now,
They
why-
are. Awesome.
if it's-
So now tell me, how is it no tax on overtime? If they're still having taxes come out of it?
Well, and you know this big, beautiful bill so well. Please answer me. Why is the ATF still collecting a tax on suppressors and short barrel rifles?
Oh, I said, I don't know if you realize this, but I specifically said it was about income tax. That's the only thing that was retroactive.
You're talking about the big, beautiful bill, and you told me how much you know.
In the
so
tax
much-
policy, you're obviously not listening, so I'm going to go ahead and repeat this for you. We're going to repeat this for you really quickly. When it comes to the specific tax policy within the HR 1, the one big beautiful bill, that's what we're talking about. That is effective immediately. The taxes on the ATF part, whichever part, I can't remember specifically if it was on the trigger or whatever it is, right? So when we're talking about that, that is something that doesn't go into effect immediately because that wasn't a part of the tax policy. You know, the taxes that you file every single year at the very beginning of the year, that wasn't a part of the actual tax writing of the bill.
It's a tax. It's a $200
It is a tax, but it is not a tax policy that comes with your income taxes.
So, okay, let's go back to the labor then. If since you know so much about this, why isn't it in there? Why is it taking effect? What happened to it?
Because he lied about what it was.
Okay.
You got bought out on simple phrases, right? You heard no tax on overtime. You heard no tax on tips, when that's actually not what it was, okay? So what it is, and I can guarantee that the majority of your employees get paid more than this every single year in overtime pay. Yeah, false advertisement. That's a great way to put it. Thank you, Lala. So let's break this down for you. So what it is if your employees are single and make less than $150,000 a year, then they can deduct up to $12,500 of the taxes that they've paid in overtime for just the next 3 years. Just $12,500. The majority of individuals that actually work overtime and actually make money off of overtime, that would have truly benefited from a true no tax on overtime, which means nothing was being taken in addition out of their paycheck, right? That's what a true no tax on overtime would be, is that nothing in addition over that 40-hour work week was being taken out of their paycheck in taxes. But in fact, that's not how it's going, okay? So now when we see that, the majority of them are going to have made way more than $12,500. And since it is a tax deduction, it's not even a tax credit. They might not even see any of that money come back to them when they file their taxes at the end of the year as an actual cash payment. So again, when we're saying no tax on overtime, that is a lie, because that's actually not how it is. And considering there's a cap on it, that means it's also a lie. It has a caveat, which means that he wasn't truthful on it.
But you're assuming $12,500 people are going to make more than that.
That the majority of people that make overtime make more than that. Are you familiar at all with Enterprise Rent-A-Car?
I am.
You are? Have you ever been to one of their local offices? Not the airport, but their local offices.
No.
Okay. Well, for those of you that have, I don't know how many people might not know this or whatever. So they have this program, or sorry, it's not a program. It's the people that they hire to rent you the cars. They're all called managers in training, right? Or MTs, manager trainee program. And every single one of them are required to work 9 hours of overtime every single week. So when you work 9 hours of overtime, guaranteed every single week, it's literally a part of their agreement. It's a part of it if you ever apply to work for them. It's right there on their website. This is why it's very easy to use them. All right. They make over that $12,500 mark 6 months into the year, if not sooner. So because of that, that's how I know that it's not going to be a benefit to them very much. They do make less than the $150,000, I can tell you that. But they make more than $12,500 every single year in overtime. So this policy is going to not benefit them very much.
Yeah, that's a...
Enterprise is a huge company.
Yeah, I wouldn't work for them, not for that. You require me to work my entire life away as a youth to give to some company that's going to fire me when a car gets scratched that I didn't know about. Nah, man, that people need to wake up in this world and realize, like, find a job that's going to give you what you need in life, not just give your youth away to some other dude that's going to get rich off of your back. And $12,500 for overtime, if you're working more than that, dude, I'm telling you, find another job, because that's not worth your life.
Okay, so gotcha.
Ever.
So are you? Yeah, it's so easy to do, guys. It's so easy to do. Make sure you guys do it.
I did it, and look where I am now. I ain't working for the man.
Right, Andrew? So it's the poor people's fault, right? That's the job that they're able to get.
I was the poor person.
But it's their fault that they're not able to get a different job, right?
Oh, it was my fault. Absolutely was my fault.
Got it. So are you aware of how many jobs that we lost in the month of May in this country?
I am, because I picked up a whole bunch of employees thanks to that.
Oh,
you
picked up employees because we lost 13,000 jobs in this country due to layoffs in 1 month. Wow. That's why you don't care. Got it. So are you able to admit yet or come to accept that Donald Trump has lied to you?
You haven't proven a lie.
I gave you one. You weren't listening. All right. Privilege comes in many forms. TikTok, let's go ahead and get the likes up to 150,000. Let me go ahead and hit apply on that one. Let's see. Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
How old are you?
29.
29. And do you support Donald Trump?
Oh, I was looking for a big old titty bitch with a big old fat pussy, and
It's very odd when you can't even see the shape of my... Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there? Hello? Oh. Oh my God, Lala, that's a funny comment. Gray Keys, that was a troublesome comment to read with forgetting that there's that username that is in that comments all the time and it's here. Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there?
Yes. Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. How old are you?
I am in my 50s.
You're in your 50s or your 60s?
50s.
Okay. And are you still supporting Donald Trump?
Yeah, not on every issue, but yeah.
Okay. Are you willing and able to accept today that Donald Trump has not only lied to you in the past, but is actively lying to you in today's administration?
Yeah, I would say that's probably the case. Like the last caller, I don't know if you just didn't hear the point he was trying to make, or you just didn't understand it. But like politicians, they all lie. We don't even know sometimes when they're lying to
And
us.
what do you
So,
gain from using the all politicians lie bit?
I guess what I'm trying to do is show you that you know, the politician, whoever that may be. I'm not sure if you were a Biden supporter, Obama, Kamala, come on, pretty mama. Anyways, a supporter, but they all lie to you. Sometimes you know when they're lying to you. Sometimes you don't know when they're lying to you.
Okay.
That's the point.
That's not the point. Do you want to know what the point is of an individual saying, well, all politicians lie, when asked specifically about Donald Trump and him lying?
Well, I can tell you where I think he's lied to us about, if that's what you're asking.
No, I'm not asking you that. I'm asking, this is
well,
actually a really simple question right now, and this isn't even a trick question. I said, would you like me to tell you why individuals say things like all politicians lie and why it is not acceptable?
I agree it's not acceptable.
That's not what I'm asking.
No,
would you like me to explain?
I would love for you to explain me why that is, and then I would like a follow-up question that perhaps maybe you would answer. Go ahead.
Cool.
You're on.
So when individuals say, well, everybody does that, or all politicians lie, it is giving individuals a pass or an excuse to the problem that we see in our politicians, and saying it's okay. So therefore, because all politicians lie, it's okay. We don't have to question the lies that Donald Trump tells.
No. Okay. I agree with you that they should be questioned, and they should be held accountable. All of them across the board. That's the point I'm trying to make, and I think that was the point the caller 20 minutes ago was trying to make. No, that's the point I'm trying to make. Is that there? Now, let me ask you: do you think that politicians across the board do not lie?
No, I've never made
Really?
that claim either. You said, do I
So-
think that
okay,
all
so you
politicians across the
agree.
board do not lie? Absolutely not. I don't believe that all politicians
Gotcha.
do not lie.
Gotcha. So you agree that all politicians lie?
That they have lied, correct. And I don't think that's an acceptable thing
It's not.
for them to do. But you see individuals that come up and say, when I ask them, are you able to accept that Donald Trump has lied to you? And the very first thing they say, well, all politicians lie. It's literally them trying to get a pass or give Donald Trump a hall pass for the remarks or the lies that he has told, so they can continue to stick their fingers in their ear and go la 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 la, so they don't hear anything ever again in the future.
No, I get it, but I guess, and correct me if I'm wrong, it just sounds hypocritical that you don't have that same opinion of whoever you might support. Like I said, I don't know who
Sir,
you support.
I don't know if sorry, I love saying this sometimes, but it also gets a little bit exhausting. Who is the only party that is in power in all three branches of government right now?
That would be Trump, right? Trump admin.
That's not even what I said. I said, who is the only party that is in power in all three branches of government right now? Republicans. So therefore, there is no one for me to support when I actively disagree with the Trump administration. So that means all of his officials, right? Including himself. Right. And the way that the Republicans in Congress are backing everything that he does, right? So there is no one for me to support, because we are just 7.5 months into Donald Trump's presidency and his administration. We don't have another presidential election we're not even campaigning for a presidential election for 3 years, right? We don't have a midterm election for 1 year and 2 months. There is no one for me to support if I actively cannot find myself giving support to the active party that is in office right now, being the Trump administration. So when I'm being very clear and I'm asking individuals such as yourself, why are you supporting Donald Trump? And then you try to pass it off with saying, well, every politician lies, right? Because, when I'm asking you about his lies, then that's the point. This is not about me supporting anybody. It's about me using my First Amendment rights, right, in order to be critical of our sitting governments in the United States right now and questioning what they're doing. And hopefully teaching somebody out there that what they're doing is wrong and how lies can be harmful, directly harmful to the American people.
Okay, I would say that what you're doing is I totally support. I totally support it. That's what. There's not really no journalists out there anymore. You have Fox News and you got CNN, and they're both biased. So what you are doing, I would say, is incredibly important. I'm just willing to bet, or my guess is that a year ago, you still had negative things to say about Trump, and
right, because he was campaigning.
Hold on, ma'am, let me finish. I didn't speak over you, and nothing negative to say about the current administration. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to go out on a limb and say that you totally supported an organization through your own words, admittedly saying lied to you. Am I right?
You're wrong. I love how people just make broad-based assumptions about myself. Like, I love coming up here. This is probably the best thing. Every time I come on live, which is again only like 6 days a week for 2 hours every single day, and I learn something. It's not that much. Like, that's not even a part-time job at that level of hours. Like, you're overkilling it. It's literally can't even be considered a part-time job. Awesome. Okay. So I love coming on here 6 days a week, 2 hours a day. And I continue to hear things about myself that I've never known, that I must have missed and I told you, yes, you're wrong. And all of the time that I've been doing political TikTok and political everything. Granted, I will admit that my YT channel is new, and that's specifically because TikTok was supposed to be shut down in January, and I was mostly on TikTok prior to that. And yes, I didn't get started until July, right? Because people got to find their confidence some way, sir. Right? Like, you think that people just pop up overnight and they just slowly build and build and build, and all of a sudden they're doing this and they're being out there with at least 137,000 people scrolling through their live on a nightly basis. No, that's not how that works. It takes time to build this up. It takes time to build up confidence to just be able to get up here, right? So, no, I actually was quite critical of Joe Biden and his administration when I was starting political TikTok. I also was able to be quite critical of Kamala Harris and what she said during her interviews, and saying that wasn't a good answer and breaking apart her answers. Also, to go back, like, I was quite able to do that. But see, now let me try to do something for you. Or let's try to point this out for you. How about you tell me 3 lies that Donald Trump has told in his current administration?
You said the vaccines were safe and effective.
We're not. No.
Oh, wait, did he not say that?
No,
did he
you
not
can't.
Say that?
You cannot say anything about C-19, and also Donald Trump turned back around very quickly and said that they're not safe and effective. Sorry, TikTok is very sensitive about C-19. Also, that was
Okay.
I said current administration, so you're wrong. That wasn't his current administration either. His current administration is from January 20th, 2025 through today, September 10th, 2025. Let's stay within the rules.
Okay, well, it sounds like, based on what you have said about the tax, the overtime tax exemption, going off face value, what you're saying, face value, that was a lie. So if I take your word for that, that was a lie.
I'm going to give you half a one there because you're also presupposing that it's already not truthful for what I said. So that's half a lie, but keep going. Let's see if you can get two more.
Well, I say that because I listened to.
You don't have to explain it. I've just given you my answer. Go ahead. You really don't. Just give me two more. Give me two more lies.
I do have to explain it because it's in context.
Oh, gosh.
I say this because I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, but I listen to a lot of what do you guys call yourselves when you're not calling yourselves influencers? You know, I don't know what the word is, but there are people like yourselves who have this to say, and you claim you got the facts, and then there are people on the other side of the coin that are doing the same exact thing. So either one or two things are wrong. Either you both are wrong, or one of you are wrong, one of you is right, or one of you is wrong, or one of you is lying. One of the two. So there you go. That's my answer, I guess.
What are two other lies that Donald Trump has told in his current administration?
Okay, let's see. Two other lies. I honestly don't know of any. Enlighten me, and I'll tell you if I agree with that. Obviously, I'm open to agreeing, or assuming that you are being truthful with your facts.
I ended 7 wars.
How many wars did he end?
Plot
twist.
What
was his real number?
None of them.
Well, when he says he ended 7 wars, what's he talking about then? And why is it a lie?
Okay. All right.
I'm asking from an informational point of view.
Armenia and Azerbaijan, have they signed an agreement?
Are they in negotiations?
That's not ending a war. If you're in negotiations, the war is still ongoing.
I'm just asking you. I'm asking you a question. Are they in negotiations?
They're at a standstill.
Okay, well, he's probably exaggerating a little bit there. I don't know.
An exaggeration qualifies as a lie.
Okay, he's lying about that then. Okay, what else?
How about the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Rwanda?
What is that about?
Oh, he claimed that he ended that war, but 153 people died in the last 3 weeks.
Okay, well, I'm going to take what you are saying as factual truth, and I'm going to agree with you on those 3 things.
India and Pakistan, when India Prime Minister comes out and says on a daily basis and admonishes the United States, clearly saying that the United States had nothing to do with us ending the war. And in fact, they did third-party negotiations in a whole other country that had nothing to do with the United States of America.
Okay, yeah, he lied.
He did. Awesome.
Okay.
How about Thailand and Cambodia? He takes credit for that when 3 days prior to those two countries having a trilateral meeting in Malaysia, where they actually came to an agreement there, Donald Trump offered to host negotiations, and both countries, Thailand and Cambodia, told him a flat no, and then they went to Malaysia to meet and have that conversation there.
Okay, I thought maybe his lies. Again, it's a lie.
It's a very clear lie.
It's a lie. I lied to my kids about Santa Claus back in the day, and I'm not equivalent. What's the word? Come on, you're a young girl, smart, fresh out of college. Equivalent? Is it that? Equivalating? That's my new word.
It's not an equivalent.
Equivalent. Okay. To the same type of lie, but what negative has came from that that you don't like?
India and Pakistan, are you aware that India specifically had protests in their country about a week and a half ago, specifically protesting the United States, where they burned an effigy of Donald Trump? Like, they made an effigy, so a like little statue of him, and then burned it in their streets during their protests because of the lie, because getting involved between India and Pakistan specifically has always been a huge do not tread on me thing for India. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200 from India by trying to get involved with them in Pakistan. We are literally destroying.
We're not at war with anybody, though.
We are literally destroying our international relations with India because of Donald Trump and his lie. India is one of the fastest growing democracies on that part of the world, and the fastest growing economy in that part of the world. And we are destroying our international relations with them because of Donald Trump and his harmful rhetoric of trying to take credit for things that he had no part of.
I wonder, and I'm just speculating here. I'm not in trying to insert an idea, or anything like that. But I wonder if that's just part of his chess game. That he plays.
Absolutely ruin the United States economy and relations with other countries before he leaves office? Absolutely. If that is the idea of how he plays chess, then I would have to agree with you there.
No, I don't. You know that I'm not saying he's actively trying to.
Oh no, that is my opinion.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying. That's I don't think that, and I don't think if he's a part of that, if he really is a part of that, then he's a part of the last 20, not 20 presidents, because that goes back too far. But he's a part of the same group of people, and it's. This conversation is dead. It's like when if Christ didn't rise from the dead, then we're dead in our sins. It doesn't. Christianity doesn't matter, and I haven't seen the evidence for him being on those teams that are trying to bring down, intentionally bring down the United States. I don't see it. I haven't seen the evidence for that, or unless that's what he's doing, and then if that's what he was doing, then I guess my opinion, because it's really all we got, changes to, well, I guess they fooled us all, But it doesn't make sense to me. That argument doesn't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm. So are you willing and able to accept today that Donald Trump is lying to you?
Yeah, if you're telling me the truth, then...
Cool beans. I'm sorry. That was... I can't. That was just... There are so many words. Okay. TikTok, y'all are doing fantastic on the likes. I have no critique for you there. If you are new here, just a friendly reminder to hit that follow button. And if you're not already following my backup account over here, hit that follow button. It's in case TikTok ever takes down the main. We're going to be over there. Yeah, no, I'm still going, guys. I'm still going, Lala. I got 30 minutes. I'm going to mute on TikTok real quick. 1 second. Just before we open the lines back up, just a friendly reminder over on YouTube and Twitch. We do have Super Chats, memberships, and subscriptions available. If you send a Super Chat on YouTube, that does get put up on the screen. I will usually address it after a phone call, but it does get addressed. I would like to see a member or two new on YouTube today. I only got one yesterday. My daily goal has been 5 just to keep me doing this every day and keep it going. But so we didn't get that yesterday, so maybe we can shoot for 3. So hopefully we can get 3 new members. Again, that does get put up on the screen. And over on Twitch, you can become a subscriber as well. If for at least 1 month, if you have an Amazon Prime membership, you actually get it for free to become a subscriber. But don't forget to hit that subscribe button up the top or the follow button if you're on Twitch, and turn on your notifications so you know when I go live. Okay, now we're going to open back up these phone lines and we'll take another caller. I don't know, Macaroni. I wish I knew. Honest to goodness. Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there?
Hello.
Hello, how old are you?
I am 30.
All right, and are you supporting Trump?
You're awesome.
Yes, my name is Aton. I am a Trump supporter.
Gustavo, thank you so much for that. I'll just skip that. Okay. You said your name is what? Oh. Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there?
Yep, I'm there.
All right. How old are you?
20 years old.
20 years old. And are you still supporting Donald Trump?
Yes.
Awesome. And are you willing and able to accept today that Donald Trump has lied to you in the past and is actively lying to you today in his current administration?
Yes, ma'am.
You are. Awesome. Can you name 3 lies that he's told in his current administration?
No, I cannot.
I'm trying, Carolina.
I don't really study politics really hard. Let me think. Here's one. Here's one really. He said something. He really wanted it to be true, but I feel like it was kind of a promise. I don't really know. But in the end, he really had no control over it. He said he was giving the. He said he wanted to lower gas prices again and give the oil companies permission to drill, and really they just never started drilling again.
In fact, they're announcing layoffs.
Continue to go up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like, oh, this is going to happen, and never happened.
Yep.
That's one. I'm paying like $2.99 and $3 for gas.
Yep, that's about right.
That's another one. I can't think of another one. You got one for me?
I mean, there's honestly so many to choose from. Let's see here. How about no tax on Social Security?
I don't know anything about it. I've never heard of it before.
Yeah, it was a campaign promise. He said it was happening, prior to him being elected, and then he said it was going to happen since he's been elected, and he sent out a memo to tell Social Security to send out Social Security, a letter to Social Security recipients telling them that if they made over the $34,000 threshold, that their Social Security is no longer going to be taxed after H.R. 1, aka the One Big Beautiful Bill, was passed, except it's nowhere in the 330 pages of the legislation.
Oh, wait, what's not in the legislation?
No tax on Social Security.
Oh. Wait, so not only is it not in the legislation, but it's also that you only don't get taxed if you make above a certain threshold?
Yeah, that's how it's always been with Social Security.
Right.
The amount increases every year because of cost of living, but it's always been that way. So, if you make under a certain amount, you get no tax on Social Security automatically. That's how it's been. You have to make over a certain amount before you're taxed. But just to add insult to injury, Donald Trump instructed the Social Security Administration to send out a letter to Social Security recipients that make over that threshold amount to tell them that their Social Security was no longer going to be taxed.
And it kept on being taxed.
And it's still continuing to be taxed because it's nowhere within HR 1. Yeah.
That's huge if true.
It's quite harmful to individuals that receive that letter that are still going to be getting their tax form, their 1099 SA at the end of the year, and it says that they pay taxes.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. That's crazy.
Yep.
All right.
He also said that the job market is doing fantastic. Tariffs were going to bring back manufacturing to America. And yet...
That is so difficult to do.
Well, since 2025...
He can't promise that.
Well, he did, though, and he keeps saying it.
He cannot promise that.
He shouldn't promise it. It's not that he cannot, but he shouldn't have done it, but he's still saying it today.
Right.
That it's bringing it back, but we've lost 78,000 manufacturing jobs since the start of 2025. 12,000 in August.
I don't know if that was something he should have said, because,
oh, most assuredly not.
It is the equipment you need to build a manufacturing facility. I'm just barely hearing rumors of silicon chip manufacturers starting up ideas of manufacturing in America. I don't remember which company it was, but yeah, nothing literally concrete yet.
I'm just gonna point this out, and normally I don't really read the comments while I'm actively in the middle of a conversation. But JR said, thanks to NAFTA. JR, I want you to go Google it. Not you, caller, you're fine. I want you to Google, just type this into Google, JR, for me. Is NAFTA in effect today? And then come back and tell me the answer, JR.
What's NAFTA?
North Atlantic Free Trade Agreement.
Oh, okay.
Or North American Free Trade Agreement. I might have that wrong. But yeah, it was a free trade agreement that was made for us agreeing at some point to split our manufacturing between countries, right? So but that was actually replaced with the USMCA under Donald Trump's first administration, right? And what that agreement did is it allowed American manufacturers to offshore 40% of their manufacturing into Mexico or Canada, just as long as they kept 60% within the United States of America. Donald Trump himself said while he was on the campaign trail, or maybe it was in January, I don't remember if it was after he was elected. No, it was after he was elected. Donald Trump himself said that he has an idiot would have signed, only an idiot would have made that deal, the USMCA, forgetting that he's the one that made that deal.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He went back on his word on that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
When someone tries to tell me that we lost 78,000 manufacturing jobs in the year of 2025 because of NAFTA, which expired under Donald Trump's first administration and then was replaced with another deal, and then even if someone else wants to say in the comments that, or RL, dropped us out of the USMCA, well, even then, pulling us out of these free trade agreements have lost us jobs.
Oh.
Yeah.
They have?
Yes, it has. Either way, we've lost 78,000 jobs.
Wow, that's unexpected.
It's not. Tariffs are a net negative for the country. Well, all right, man.
Yeah,
Sounds like you're
I'm
mostly in
feeling
agreement with me, so I think I'm gonna.
Um, yeah, a little. I'm not educated enough to say that you're wrong. So like, I'm adopting sort of a "that's huge if true" statement. You know
Feel
of
free to
Cleo
look it up.
Abrams, the YouTuber.
No.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, her whole thing is her channel name's "huge if true."
Gotcha. I always encourage everybody to look it up. That's why I
Yeah.
told them to go look up when NAFTA ended. Or specifically
Yeah,
ask,
yeah.
is NAFTA in effect today in 2025? It's not. Right, man.
Yeah, from what you say, it doesn't sound like it is. All right.
Have a good night.
You too.
All right, bye. I don't even know who that is, Dragon Queen. Guys, I don't scroll YouTube very often, if at all. Sometimes I scroll the shorts. Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there?
Yo,
Yo, how old are you?
I'm 30.
You're 30. Can you get closer to your microphone?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's a little better. All right, and are you still supporting Donald Trump?
I don't have a problem with him.
Oh, okay.
How old are you?
Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Okay. Moxie.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay. How old are you?
32.
32. And are you supporting Donald Trump?
I am.
You are? And are you willing and
I
able
am.
are you willing and able to accept today that not only has Donald Trump lied to you in his previous administration, that he's actively lying to you in his current administration today?
I am.
You are? Awesome. Name
I
3
am.
lies for me.
Ending the wars, tax on tip
Wars.
deadline, and then the Russian-Ukrainian war ending it in 30 days.
So no new wars. I heard Russia, Ukraine, and then what was that second one?
The tax on tip deadline and how it was framed. He was campaigning for it to be no tax on tips, but when the law came out, it was actually a $25,000 cap.
Okay. Awesome. So
Yes.
really quickly, Miss Dawn, I have no idea why. I do get some of them, but not very often. I wish I knew why. So why are you still supporting Donald Trump?
Because he's the current president.
Okay.
So, I mean, it'll be interesting. Just hear me out for a little bit.
Mhm.
So I voted for Obama my first election. I voted for Hillary my second time around. I voted for Trump my third time around. I voted for Biden the fourth time around. Because I believe, if you ever hear of a person by the name of Curtis Yarvin?
No.
Okay. So Curtis Yarvin, he
Celebs, I'm going to get
is-
to your chat in
was
a
a
moment,
software
so just wait
engineer.
around.
turned into American blogger, a modern philosophist. He believes in something called the Dark Enlightenment movement. And that's what I believe in. And basically what that means is the regime in power should stay in power, because then government can't get anything done if we keep changing. We believe that the democracy that we have now is a failed, let's say failed experiment, and that we align closer to the values of enlightenment. Basically, it was influenced by libertarianism. We take the traditional constructs of government, such as absolute monarchism and moralism, and we put that towards what we believe in, if that makes any sense. So if you look back in history, you there?
I am.
Okay, so if you look back in history, the president that had the most power ever, the closest president to a dictator, and that's why I don't like when people call Trump a dictator. I don't believe he's a dictator. He might have a little bit of authoritarian viewpoints, but he's not yet to the dictator side of it.
the number one dictator in our history is FDR, especially during World War II. He was elected 4 times, which was unprecedented at the time. He used the Constitution to his full powers. He made all the decisions himself. He put the decisions down forth because we were in an act of war. And even after the fact, with the stuff that he created to help us get out of the Great Depression, it was his idea with no pushback from Congress. So if you're talking dictatorships, he's the closest one to a dictator that we ever had in United States history. LBJ comes close to it. But then as you go further in, we also believe in something called what's the cathedral, right? So back in 2013, 2014, Curtis Jarvin said something about how the cathedral's ran by a deep state. Basically what that means is that the deep state is stuff like the media, colleges, etc. That the Wall Street Journal is probably the perfect example. The Wall Street Journal gets...
pause you for a moment?
Yep.
So here's why you can say, so I'm going to give you a caveat here, or give you I don't know, an olive branch here, and say that yes, you can say that FDR had dictator-like tendencies, but there's a significant difference here. Congress willingly signed and passed pieces of legislation that temporarily handed over their authority to the President of the United States. And that's a key point that we're skipping over here, is they willingly signed over parts of their authority enacted into law temporarily, handing it over to the President of the United States, or the executive branch of the United States of America.
Okay.
That's a key difference here. Donald Trump is just writing executive order after executive order after executive order and wondering why he's actively being challenged against on almost everything in court.
Okay.
He
That's
is not
a great point.
relying on Congress to hand over parts of power to him. Because if he wanted to make these tariffs legal at any point, he could have asked his buddy Mike Johnson to introduce something into Congress that made his sweeping tariffs legal. But he never did. Or even ask his buddy Mike Johnson to write a bill that gives him widespread powers over tariffs or anything like that. He didn't do any of that. He's just writing executive orders. Basically, he's throwing like a wet piece of paper at the wall or at the ceiling and hoping it sticks. Or even we can just say, the game that kids used to play with throwing pencils up at the ceiling and waiting to see if they stick up. Yeah, he's doing that. Yeah. He's throwing pencils up at the ceiling, hoping that they stick in place.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, with the executive order, Trump is using his powers of the executive branch, and that's what I'm getting at with how we vote on what I'm saying, the Dark Alignment movement. We vote for the people in power, right? The executive order is a branch of the president making decisions, because in actuality, the president doesn't make the decisions. The administration makes the decisions. When FDR was he was president, he signed what was basically the New Deal, right? It expanded the federal government economy to combat the Great Depression. Parts of that was he was concentrating way too much power on the executive branch, so that it basically extended his powers even further. And then when you go even further, his authoritarian overreach was when he put Japanese Americans into internment camps. When he left office, he created so many branches of government so that the person coming into power can't have the full power. He's broke it up into millions of pieces to spread the wealth. And over time...
No, he didn't add branches of government. That's not branches.
Possible. He added administrations, what I'm saying.
Agencies have to be approved. Agencies have to be approved by Congress, in which all of those were.
They were approved by Congress, but that was his idea. That's what I'm saying.
Doesn't matter. It was still congressionally approved.
He had full, complete power.
No, he didn't. It still required congressional approval.
Okay, again, it was his idea, is what I'm saying. He put those in place.
It can be his idea, but he still had congressional approval.
Okay, so then I'm getting to my second point here. when he had the congressional approval to get all those done. He spread the government wide. Now, as time goes on, we, as in every time a change happens in democracy, there's too much cleanup between presidencies being elected that the president can't get anything done. When everyone blames Trump he's not making the decisions. He's not making the choices. The administration is making those choices. And then on top of it, with the combating the deep state that they created, you have the New York Times, for example.
Donald
who's an
Trump became
oligarchy.
the deep state.
then
Define
your
an
definition of deep
oligarchy.
state- Your definition of deep state is completely different than mine if you think he's part of the deep state.
No,
He's
he
fighting the deep
literally
state.
has become a part of the deep state with all of this, sorry, TikTok, educational purposes only, with all of the Epstein file shit and calling it a hoax, denying that it happened, which also means denying the fact that there are victims out there when you call it a fucking hoax. Also giving Ghislaine Maxwell a reason, a valid reason to appeal when the president of the United States goes out on national television, on his social media, and is constantly saying every fucking day, this is a hoax, stop concentrating on it, this is a hoax, pay attention to something else, this is a hoax, literally giving her fuel to her fire to have a winning appeal down the line and get her case overturned in the appellate court. He is becoming the deep state when he's trying to bury it because he's protecting the names of other individuals. This includes Republicans. This includes Democrats. They're all fucking assholes here, right? Like, he is becoming the deep state because he is attempting to cover things up. Whoever is in these files, I don't care. They're all fucking pieces of shit. Okay? Let's be very clear. If Bill Clinton is implicated in there, then lock his fucking ass up. I never liked the Clintons. If Obama was in there, then lock his fucking ass up for doing something shitty. I don't give a fuck. I don't think you guys understand that, right? But let me be so fucking clear. Donald Trump has literally become the deep state. When all of these holdouts from the big, beautiful bill, right, had to go meet in his office, and then when they go back to Congress, they've changed their mind. He has become the deep state. When he has to carve out little deals, sections of deals in bills just so that they'll pass it, he has become the deep state. He has become directly involved with what Congress is doing when he has to meet with individual representatives in the Oval Office to convince them to vote for his shit. Make promises, whatever. He is actively accepting bribes on national television.
Do you know what the deep state is?
He's participating in conspiracy theories. Does that help you?
That's not a deep state. Deep state is a hidden, unelected group of people within the government.
That's Donald Trump! Just saying. I'm so sick of people denying that. Let's be very clear. He said unelected, right? A group of individuals that are unelected running the government, a shadow government. If Donald Trump, and this is his own words, right? If Donald Trump is not the one making the decisions, and this guy said it, it's the administration. Unelected officials! Unelected officials are making the decisions. Then he's literally become the deep state. By your own words, by your own admission, he has become the deep state because you're saying that his administration, which are all unelected except for the vice president of the United States of America, every single one of them elsewhere are unelected officials, then he has become the deep state. What? And hot celebs, sorry, I was going to go ahead and read your chat and just let you know that I've made a video specifically about that topic. And we'll go ahead and make one final statement here about this. If you're unclear what my statement is, go watch my latest video. when it comes to Charlie Kirk and the tragic events of today, I do not condone political violence, and I believe that we all should have his family in our thoughts, in our minds, in our hopes, whatever prayers you might give it, however you choose to follow your belief system. I believe that his family deserves all of that, and it is a tragedy. I do not believe that anyone should suffer a loss of life due to their political ideology or their political statements or the political speeches that they give. Political violence is never okay, nor is it ever okay for someone to be at the other end of a gun and lose their life. I hope that makes it very clear for everybody. And anybody that watches the replay and makes it to this part of the video. It's a long way to go. But political violence is never okay. Thank you. We have time for maybe one more caller, and I think he ran away, so. Oh yeah, you're right. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to sub. Don't forget to become a member. Don't forget to send a super chat. Sorry, TikTok. I know I said all of the bad words. Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there?
I am.
How old are you?
42.
You're 42? Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Did you vote for are you still supporting Donald Trump?
I am.
Okay. And are you willing and able to admit today that Donald Trump is actively lying to you? And has been before? You are? Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What are the can you name 3 lies for me that you know he's told in his current administration?
I cannot.
You cannot.
No.
So how are
Can you?
I can.
Go ahead.
Cool. The other countries pay for tariffs. Tariffs are going to bring manufacturing back to America. Also,
manufacturing will never go back to America.
okay. And then third one would be no tax on Social Security.
There you go.
That's just 3.
So do you think that manufacturing will come back?
No, absolutely not.
Why not?
Why? We've already seen it in the jobs report that we lost 78,000 manufacturing jobs just in the manufacturing industry, just in the first 8 months of this year alone. Well, multiple reasons. Tariffs don't bring jobs back to America.
Has nothing to do with tariffs.
So what did it have to do with? Why were companies laying their employees off?
AI-driven automation.
Oh, I mean, that is part of it.
That's 100% it.
It's not all of it, though.
A new report came out said 3.2 million jobs, about 2% of the employment since 2022 will be lost in the next 20 years due to AI-driven automation. Since 2000, over 1.7 million manufacturing jobs have been lost due to automation. So you can't just say that the tariffs are causing the manufacturing jobs going away when it's actually AI and automation, especially when the own government is investing into AI and automation on an unprecedented pace.
Yeah, awesome. That was also included in H.R. 1, the one big beautiful bill, you know, the bill that Marjorie Taylor Greene specifically came out and said when it went to the Senate that she wouldn't vote on it if they didn't take out the AI part. And yet she still ended up voting on it when it went back to the House and Congress, even though they kept the AI part in there. So yeah, the active government is supporting in our job market losing jobs to AI automation. That is true.
You have to.
Well, except see, the government also said, Donald Trump also said that AI was going to generate new jobs for the American people. So are you going to agree that that was a lie too?
No, because it is generating new jobs. It ain't generating manufacturing jobs.
It's not generating manufacturing jobs. So how can you support a president that you know lied to you and knows that he's actively pushing forward people to lose their jobs in the United States, specifically in the manufacturing industry then?
Because it's going to protect us from generations to come. If Japan, China, Russia, and all of them are investing into AI at an unprecedented rate, we have to do the same too. And unfortunately, that's collateral. People are going to lose their manufacturing jobs due to it. That's last. If they don't like it, they can get re-educated and get something else or find some other trade. But so us to compete with the global world economy, we have to go with what they're doing. And AI is our future.
How are people supposed to get
Unfortunately,
educated when he's defunding the Department of Education, cutting out FAFSA, and cutting out the things that were necessary for middle to low income households in order for their kids to go to college and get this education that seems so elusive now that you're saying that they need to just quit, get a job, get a better education, and then find another job. That's very much privilege coming out of you.
So you thought, so automatically because the federal government's getting rid of the Department of Education, you believe states cannot provide education to their own people?
Oh, no. Do you not realize that the majority of funding, not the majority, but a good portion of the funding that goes to public schools, but I was talking about I was actually talking about college. I like how you went to public schools. But the majority
I did not go to public schools. I went to college, man.
No.
I did not mention public schools. I said they're going to bring back power to the states.
Bring back power to the states, yeah. And how much, if states are now only being able to fund everything themselves, right? How well do you think states like Oklahoma, which is literally 50th in education right now, with government funding, right? How well are they going to do in keeping open their largest college, their state college, right? Oklahoma State College. How well are they going to do, or State University, my bad, OSU. How are they going to keep it open?
How much funding do they get?
How much funding do they get? I can see. I can try to see. How much federal funding does Oklahoma? I like how that was a search. Wow. They get $528 million in federal grants. Do you think that the state of Oklahoma is going to be able to make up for that?
So when they dismantle the Department of Education, where's that money going to go?
I don't know. You tell me. You seem to know.
No, I'm asking you because you think automatically that the Department of Education is gone, money is gone.
No, I like how you're still not even hearing what I say. Did I say get rid of the Department of Education, or did I use a different word?
Defunding?
Defunding the Department of Education. There you go. You see how those are two different things? So when you're no longer putting money, when you're no longer putting money into that, like in the ways that you were, we already know where that, no, it's not ceasing to exist, right? Because we're just saying, I like how you just continue to overtalk me, like you seem to know where this conversation is going, and I promise you, you don't. I really don't understand how people continue to put me in this box thinking that they know where this conversation is going to go when I guarantee that they don't. Okay. So let's try this again. Let's try this again for a moment. Okay. So when I'm saying that they are defunding the Department of Education, that means that just less money is going to them. I never said that 100% of the funds were just going to stop going to them entirely. But when we're defunding the Department of Education, we already know where that money is going to go to, because Donald Trump guaranteed NATO that we were going to start spending 5% of our national GDP going back into our military defense. Where are we at currently? Okay, when it comes to what we already spend in our GDP, it's at just about like 3.17%, and that's with us having a $1.14 trillion defense budget, which means with that, because I've done this math before based off of our GDP, which last time I looked was like $27 trillion, we have to increase that by over $1 trillion additional going into our National Defense Fund. So that's why we're defunding all of these other programs, is to cycle it back into the Department of Defense, and we already see how that's going to go. Like, I don't understand how people don't. We already know where it's going to go. It's going to be reallocated by Congress, because that's Article 1 of the United States Constitution, not Article 2. That's not the presidential duties to reallocate funding, but it's Article 1 of the United States Constitution that Congress is responsible for reallocating the money, and that's exactly what he's going to do. So we already know that, but thanks, man. Also, this is the end of my live anyways. I'm towards the end of my time. Thank you. Have a good night. That's a weird comment, Lisa. What logic did I use? Yes, it'll also probably go into pockets, but I'm just like being very clear that there's a reason. Oh, is RJ on right now? Yeah, in a second. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and mute TikTok for a second. Don't leave yet. And if you're new, can we get one more or 6 more followers real quick to get up to 105 or 110? I don't know which one you need to do on TikTok. All right. Guys over on YouTube, guys over on Twitch, I am going to go ahead and end for the night. I will be back on live tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. My day off is going to be on Friday. All right. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your night and see you back on tomorrow. And if you have any additional questions about where my stance are on the events of today, watch the video that I posted. Y'all have a good night.